Cool, good deal. Looks like we're live. Welcome everybody to the Castlevania 2 Randomizer race. I'm Tusnek, and I'm joined here with Blood, Sweat, and Code. What's up, B-Sack?
Oh, just fantastic. Just excited to get out here and have yet another run here at one of these RGL events. It's always a fun crowd.
Yeah, so if you haven't seen CV2 Randomizer before, it's because it's pretty new. It's an open source project that Blood, Sweat, and Code has been spearheading, and he's done the vast majority of the development work on it. He's gotten some assistance from Burb and a few others, but I think we're still in. Are we in beta? Are we getting ready to roll out 1.0 pretty soon here?
Yes, I am. In fact, the last thing I want to get done is the nail logic. Right now, everything's tied to holy water. So, but yeah, that's the last big hurdle because that will change the logic of the game. And after that point, I think it's been ready for prime time for a while. So, we've been beating on this. There's been tons of runs of this, and having a lot of fun. So, looking forward to seeing yet another one between probably our two top CV2R runners, and we have two interesting new challenging surprises in there for them. We have the standard difficulty on now, but we also added two additional patches that won't let them use some of the things that make the thing easier. One is the fact that once they get to Dracula, their whip will be downgraded to Thorn, and their level will be downgraded to 2 to make for an interesting fight. And you might be thinking, well, they can just quick kill him with one of the sub-weapons, the dagger or the holy water. Well, no, they can't, because I went ahead and removed the bug from the game where they can do that. So there will be no quick kills in this run. So they are going to have to buckle down and really wrestle with Dracula at the end. And that includes, depending on when they get to death as well. So there'll be no quick kills on him either.
When you learned software development, did you ever think in a million years you'd be fixing bugs from a 32-year-old Nintendo game?
No, that one never really did cross my mind. I knew I was a geek for a long time, but given what I'm working on professionally, no. Working in assembly code on old NES games doesn't exactly fall in line with the skill set, but I got into speedrunning at the beginning of this year, and the Castlevania community has just been awesome. And it was a fun project to start on that I never thought would get off the ground, but now we're having a blast with it. So I'm just looking forward to seeing where we go from here.
So some of you may not know, Castlevania 2 kind of breaks away from the traditional paradigm of Castlevania a little bit. It's more of like an action adventure game or an RPG in a lot of ways, where you go around the world in a non-linear fashion. You're picking up items from vendors and from bosses. So earlier you mentioned that you're working on Nell logic, and I think you also referenced holy water logic. Can you tell us a little bit about what that means?
Yeah, essentially, in a nutshell, holy water is generally break all the breakable blocks in the game, which opens up maybe half the checks in the game almost. But there are areas where equipping the nail will allow your whip to break blocks, and there are actually, between a third and a half of the holy water location can also be opened with nail. So this is going to make you have to know the game even more to dig in and start getting through your progression.
Let's see. So I'm looking at Discord here. Are they waiting on us to go ahead and call the race, or are we waiting on them? Big Mike, if you could let us know. I'm really hyped to see Sath and Burb here. Like you said earlier, these are the two best rando players, and they've been a part of the project since pretty close to the beginning, testing and doing development for it. And I'm really hyped to see this race.
Okay, it sounds like they're ready.
We're good.
Good. I don't know if they're listening to us, so should we just count it down in the chat?
Looks like Mike's got it.
We're going to get a final ready here, and then looks like Mike's going to count us down. They're ready.
Nice, I'm so hyped.
And hey, we got fangs in the seed as well. The hidden Dracula item that's never used, and
Oh, nice.
fully believe that's why there's 6 bags at the end of the game and not 5.
They never thought anybody would notice.
Yes,
Cool.
dog developer. Yes, we have night vendors in the game. You can enter all the doors at nighttime. And we're off. So now we're going to do the first survey of Jova to see what the items are going to be.
Sacred Flame sucks.
Ah! Right out of the gate, Sacred Flame. Largely useless. Getting some interesting effects on the restream of Burp here, but we'll roll with it for now.
So something you might have noticed is that the oak stake from the Holy Water vendor, that's hot. What did the white crystal vendor? Heart, nice.
Heart, so there's gonna that opens up some possibilities you might not want to take on early in the game.
So a couple of things that you probably see immediately is you saw Burb just teleported back to the start. So something that VSAC made was like an up and A, kind of like a Metroid or Zelda up and A. It kind of brings you back to the beginning. This really just helps the playability of the game, but it also increases, I don't know, it reduces the complexity of trying to place guardrails throughout the game because you can get soft locked in a few places. Second thing you probably noticed is that Simon looks a little different than he normally does. So this is a palette that Burb made, and it basically makes Simon look like Castlevania 1 Simon, which is pretty hot.
Sorry, Cossack, it's not my fault. I blame Europe for the problems with. I couldn't create these assets.
Right away, we see our two runners going on completely different routes. We have Burb going to the left, which is the more dangerous route, but has a couple of vendors that he has one vendor that you don't need any money for, and then another vendor that you can get to without holy water. So it's not uncommon for Burb to go to the left here. I think Sath is content to farm here, pick up the heart, and then I would actually expect him to go across the river to Death's Mansion. Ooh, golden knife from the red crystal vendor for Burb there. So that's pretty good. Also, I'm watching on VLC, so if I'm spoiling anything for the chat, just let me know and I can slow my roll a little bit.
Yeah, you're gonna have to feed us info because I couldn't even read golden knife on that one from the Twitch streams. So we'll try to stay sharp on Burb's stream for you guys.
So Burb continuing to go left here, so I guess he's gonna go to the Morningstar vendor.
Oh, and Sath I think is gonna go the spicy route here and he's gonna go straight to bronze, I bet.
Yeah, I think if I were Sath here, I would actually pause upstairs in Jova and farm out the rest of my level, because I don't think he's leveled up yet, but he's better than me, so I shouldn't be suggesting that he do something different.
This is pretty technical. Without quick kill, going to death with a leather whip is something you'd probably only see Sath and Burb try to pull off.
You see Burb's taking a game over here. That's not uncommon. A lot of the times in this game, you'll actually just kind of push. You'll just kind of bludgeon through enemies and just try to get to your objective as fast as possible. The only thing you really lose from dying, besides a few seconds, he levels up in the swamp. That's really lucky for Sath, actually.
It was going to be tough to muscle his way through that at night, so
yeah,
unfortunate. So he may have drawn it up that way. He's a smart dude when it comes to this stuff. Oh boy, got a fireball dance to do here.
Yeah, that was a nice boost.
Yeah,
that was a really nice boost by Sath. I'm actually surprised that Burb is going to go down here to the Morningstar vendor without any money.
Yeah,
just a data mine, I guess, right?
Yeah, I really thought garlic. Oh man, that's a long way to walk down and not pick up the garlic.
Yeah,
because that's really only going to open up 2 checks for you, but they could be important. There's another one out there somewhere. So Sath is passing up the mansion so he can go check out the diamond dude, the guy who usually never gets visited because nobody likes the diamond and he's way out of the way. But in the randomizer, all of the merchants dudes in the game that give you something for free for the crystals, they're all a free check. So all you got to do is go talk to them, you get your item. Nice thing about them is too is if they hold something like garlic or laurels, you can spam them to fill up your inventory.
Nice boost from Sath here. He's playing through these obstacles in a really I can't say this word very well, but conscientious fashion. He's taking his time. He's taking really wise boosts, just trying to make it through without too many hiccups, I think.
And truly, the depth of knowledge these two guys have is insane. Down to the pixels in the frame, everything, and even they've been applying it in the rando, so where it's not even set situations where in any percent, basically at any moment where anything is going to be, you have the game memorized. These guys can apply those principles on the fly. It's pretty impressive. Ooh,
that's one of my favorite. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, Crystal from Sath. That's really good. So, is he going to... Okay. I would be tempted to go to Jova and go to Berkeley here, if it were me. Because it's a lot easier.
I know, but I'm telling you, he would have done it by now. He would have... By now, Sath... I got a feeling Sath... He's going straight to death, and he's going to try and muscle his way through... oh, boy. Having some trouble with this enemy placement here. There's always some interesting line. Oh, no! Sath hits the drink.
It's probably for the best. At least he can start moving now.
Yeah, he was wasting too much time trying to get his way through there. And you'll find that in the randomizers that often you'll get runners abusing the fact that Castlevania 2 drops you basically right where you died, so you'll abuse the follow-up death iframes to get through some troublesome situations.
I was actually a little surprised to see Burb farm farm for the garlic outside of Ondel.
Yeah, really. I mean, I guess he recognized how valuable that may be, and he's on his way back. Should he choose to, he can always go and check our friend the Graveyard Duck.
Yep. So we have Sath up in Death Mansion here, and like you said earlier, the death fight is really tough.
This mansion is tough, period, if you only got Leather Whip. And this is not a friendly setup. There's spiders at the tops of stairs are one of the worst things in the Castlevania 2 randomizer.
Yeah. Any projectiles, they're just so bad. And it's because in Castlevania 2, unlike Castlevania 1 and 3, if you get hit on the stairs, you get knocked off the stairs. So it can get pretty frustrating pretty quickly.
Some instances... Oh, he's going to get bumped. Yeah. Death there for Sath, but that's going to be expected there. Ooh, I was wondering... Yeah, he's trying to race him up the stairs.
Yeah, that was good.
Another spider at the top of stairs. Oh, but he gets up there. Good.
That was a nice angle from that first web.
Yeah, and you really got to get up there on your first go because you move so slowly on the stairs, you can't really try to... Oh, that blob!
Oh, wow.
Mean.
That was a bad beat.
Just lying in wait.
Pretty lucky he decided to just go up and down a few times there. So we see Burb over there farming outside of Jova for the heart. So it looks like he's gonna go back to Death Mansion, which would be nice. He can pick up a crystal from the diamond vendor.
I'm really surprised he didn't do that right out of the gate.
Me too. Burb's a sucker for the left path, though. He loves it.
Yeah.
He loves the danger.
Yeah, well, I think there's going to be no less danger for him once he grabs that heart. Sath's here trying to get his floor drop.
Yeah, he messed up the first attempt.
Yeah, it's far less necessary in the randomizer because generally you don't have a Spear Knight waiting for you at the bottom. He's going to set it up again and do it. It's this time. Ooh, Bone Thrower might not have been any fun either.
Yeah, let's see what the vendor has. I have no idea how much money Sath has here.
Oh, vanilla oak steak. All right. He's already got one though, I think.
That's nice. So he can pick it up on the way out, which is really convenient.
All right. So now he's going down to some serious trouble with that. You're in for a treat here for Sath trying to take out Death with just the Leather Whip here.
I really like this floor drop here. He's going to do a floor drop, and he's going to do a 3-frame window to try to warp into Death's room, which he got.
Great death jump there. Great death jump. He's hoping for a whip or something here to work with.
Yeah, he needs help.
Well, he got himself his blue crystal, but it's not going to help him with this fight.
Yeah.
He's just going to take the death. Yeah, take the death and try it. He's going to try it.
This is tough. This is one of the toughest fights in the game.
Again, with a Leather Whip, this is something really only I've ever seen Burb and Sath try.
Yeah, from their low percent days.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, these guys are the low percent. Oh boy.
How many hits does it take?
I'm trying to remember. Freeland was in the chat. I'm sure he would know.
It's a lot. It's too many.
Say something like 140, like something ridiculous. But Sath is not one to back down from a challenge. And he's got no sub-weapons to try and manipulate him either, to try and stun lock him or anything. He really can't be taking those body hits. So he got lucky with the guys pushing him through.
Oh,
But
That
he
was a
can't
really
take another
nice
hit.
boost.
Yeah, I don't know how he got lucky getting bounced in that direction.
He should try to force those, I think.
I wonder how many times he's gonna make a run at this.
I think I would just leave.
Yeah, this is tough.
I think I would just gamble that Death doesn't have a critical item. See, if Burb were in this spot, he'd be in a lot better shape because he has garlic.
Oh, he couldn't get the iframes to do it. Oh, that's unfortunate. He's down, yeah, he's down to one touch and he's done for now. Duck.
It's a good attempt. Alright, so we see Burb heading left here, going back over the swamp, presumably to head to Death's Mansion. Yeah, I would just...
Seth wants it. He wants it bad.
Go buy the oak steak and keep moving, buddy.
Yeah. Never quite figured out the hitboxes on those sites either. Sometimes your whip seems to take them out, sometimes not. What he really needs to do is catch a damage boost to get him to the left side once Death is all the way on the right side. Because then I can totally see Seth walking him down that way. But when you got him at mid-screen, it's really hard to do.
The most brutal thing about this Death fight is after he beats Death, if he beats Death, he's going to have to farm up 50 hearts to buy the oak steak again. Or 50, what was it, 54 or something?
Yeah.
But he's going to have to do some farming after this.
In all likelihood, he'll just up A back to Jova and do it there.
Oh, yep, that's a good point.
Oh boy, barely makes it over. Oh
my God.
Right.
All right. Meanwhile, we have Burb over here heading to the diamond vendor to hook up the white crystal, which will be really nice.
It's like yeah. This is what the CV2 developers intended, for this to be an absolutely miserable slot. But though I'm imagining they thought you had a chain whip by now.
That's true. Instead of just like one-shotting him with holy water.
Yeah, because generally the way the game clears, oh boy, is you clear the whole kind of right side of Jova first, with the exclusion of the he's calling it quits. Well, at least we got to see him try.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah, so I'd expect Sath here to pick up an oak steak like you said, and then head to Berkeley, I think. But he could do Rover as well, but I would wait. I think I would wait until I have the Nail or the Holy Water to... Actually, I don't even know if Nail could do it, but Holy Water so you could use the Wrong Warp to save a bunch of time.
Yeah, I don't know if the Nail can get you out of there on the Wrong Warp.
Probably not, right?
Yeah, see, you never know with the hitboxes. I think not so much the hitbox of the whip, but the hitbox of the block. And I think the hitbox of the whip would present in front of the very edge of the block.
Same. So I'd be interested to see if something like a Morningstar that has some hitbox behind you would do anything.
But it might actually be on the pixel behind the block where that.
Right.
What the two snacks referring to is like the Flame Whip and the Morningstar. They have it might just be a frame of a hitbox behind them when you swing it. Alright, so he's got his oak steak and he's off to probably Berkeley.
Berkeley is the intended first mansion of the game. So it's with the power level that more closely corresponds with Sath's items, unlike Death's Mansion. At least Burb has the golden knife as he moves into Death's Mansion, which can stun like Death. The catch is that each golden knife you throw costs 2 hearts. So he's gonna need to be pretty properly farmed to be able to kill Death with the golden knife. And still it's gonna take a lot. What is it? So if it's 140, that's like just under 50 attacks. So 100 hearts. That's not too bad actually.
Yeah. Ooh, you're gonna have to time this well.
Yeah.
Oh, he catches the top of it.
Those graveyard enemies, the flowers, those gargoyles, mummies, they hit like a truck. Their fireballs do the same amount of damage, but if you touch their bod, man, they're not about that.
Yeah, and the flowers have an obscenely huge hitbox. At least with the mummy, you know what you're getting into, since it's more tile fall than anything else. But those flowers seem to catch the corner of them more than you think.
Usually those enemies have a lot of hit points, but the way the randomizer works is whatever enemy is being, the enemy that's being replaced, their hit points is what drives the hit points of the enemy that's replacing it. So you get these really late game monsters, but they usually have very few hit points, so they're really nice to farm out of. Kill a mummy with like 1 or 2 hits and get a big heart, which is 6 hearts is quite nice. This is a spicy situation. Is he trying to blob boost up here?
I don't know what he was. I think he was just taking the death.
Or can you just jump up?
Oh no!
Oof.
Oh boy, this is rough.
Oh, this is good. Oh no, it's not good.
That swamp is making that triple block jump there really hard. There you go.
I think he's just gonna go slow here. Oh, okay, nice. Never mind.
Just
Just suicide run
his way down through bronze now. He's gonna go see that he's gonna get no stake, and then he too may likely take a run at this death fight. Which is again why I was really surprised he didn't grab that heart at the very beginning and just go for it. But more fun for us. Half deviations are always more fun to watch.
All right, let's see if Burb hits the 3-framer here. Gets the warps. That's really nice. And what was in the oak stake? Was it a blue crystal?
Yeah.
Or in the orb, I mean?
Yeah, a crystal upgrade. Just to note, all whips and crystals are upgraded progressively, so you can't jump ahead. So whenever you get a crystal, it's always white crystal, then blue crystal, then red crystal. Same thing with the whips.
Spervin says, somebody reminds Sat that he doesn't have to play like it's a low percent race. Yeah, and here we are. We're seeing Burb stun lock death with the golden knife.
The golden knife, I forgot. See, that was a big difference. Who knows? That routing out to Alba and Ondal pay off in the end.
Yeah.
And with these two guys, honestly, you know, try and whip them there.
Oh, he's got laurels.
See, now that was interesting. He was trying to jump with at the beginning, kind of trying to get a better angle on the skies coming out.
Are you seeing the struggle that Sat has with this mummy? The mummy's going to take at least 3 hits. Oh, he gets by him.
There we go.
Okay, nice.
Oh, one other thing to note is that we haven't mentioned yet, is that the books in which we may see coming up next to the oak stake vendor here. The books in Castlevania 2 are historically pretty damn useless. But thanks to one of the guys in the community, Kalari, he recently updated it so that the books have randomizer specific hints in them. So the books will actually tell you, usually directly, but sometimes loosely, where an item is hidden in the random, which can be insanely valuable in some cases. And in most cases, I found that most of the value is derived from knowing what not to go after. But I actually missed the drop on Burke's screen. What did he get?
Oh, and Black Cabin says that it was holy water.
Oh, boy.
Oh, my God. Poor Sat. This is brutal.
Yeah, that's a... Oh, no. Yeah. Yeah, Tuesday, do you remember how I told you I accidentally saw a bit of the spoiler log when I was generating this? Yeah, that's the bit I knew. I knew it was going to have to be a low percent death if you wanted to get that holy water. So, Burb is going to... That's all I saw, but that was enough to know that this was going to be a seed well suited to these two guys.
That is a spicy death drop. Poor Sat, getting the business here.
Yeah, and now he's
trying to farm for that rib, and he just cannot find any monsters that are good to farm with.
Yeah, he's got monsters that are good to farm with. It's just all these spiders and stuff that are throwing him curveballs. Yeah, the spiders and the Medusa are really the top, bane of CV2 runners, particularly in mansions.
Yeah, the Medusas are relentless. They move so fast. All right, we have Burb picking up another oak stake here, and he's got both crystals, so again, I think we would expect him to go to... Actually, he's going to go to Barrows, I bet. He's got the holy water, which I
Holy
forgot
water,
about.
yeah, sure. Yeah, he'll go that route and probably hit Rover first. Then he can check the Sacred Flame too on the way.
Yep. So yeah, I'm gonna call that Burb has a significant advantage in this right now. He's got the most critical utility item in the game, and he's got the golden knife. And you know, I think a lot of it boils down to the routing at the very beginning. Sath was like, okay, I'm gonna gamble and farm for the heart and go to Heart Mansion immediately, which I don't think is a bad plan because it gives you 4 shots at an item. Meanwhile, Burb, you know, kind of took it slow and kind of data mined more of the world, and that data is coming in pretty handy right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see what we have here. Well, this guy's picking up two quest items here, between the Riv and the Ring. So this is
pretty good
stuff, but he's going to be missing checks along the way going here without that holy water. So, boy, those gargoyles have fun with box detection with the environment. Not so much an issue in vanilla, though you will see glitches from time to time. But with some of the places they get put in the randomizer, it can be quite interesting.
So you have patched in a few patches that will kind of take away some of the trolliest possible placements. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so in the earlier days of CV2R, when it was a bit more brutal, is you'd often find like a flower with its huge hitbox, huge damage, planted right at the top of the staircase, totally unavoidable without like laurels or something. There's really no trick to do it because Simon can't hit over his head, and even sometimes, even with a diamond, if it's at the top of the staircase. So we went through and kind of meticulously went through and identified all those spots and make sure no immobile enemies are put there. We also have a number of patches in that help speed the game along. Because yes, there's always going to be farming because of the nature of Castlevania 2 and how many merchants there are. But you've probably noticed by now that we have 100% heart drop, so every enemy will drop a heart. I'm trying to think of something that there's also the penalty reduction on death, so you don't lose all of your hearts on death, you lose half of your hearts on death.
Yeah, normally when you game over in this game, you lose all of your hearts and all of your experience, which is quite the penalty.
Yeah. I can't remember what it is, Freeland knows what it is, but there's a sometimes glitch that happens where you actually get like an experience buff after that death penalty. So it's what we've got to fix yet, but it's not really a game changer in any form or fashion. So yeah, and you know what, Murdoch is the zombies. He's saying gotta love when all the villagers are walking the zombies, but they can actually be a major problem if you're trying to farm in the village when they're walking around, because every time you whip, you might catch a dialogue with them. So it's a blessing and a curse at times.
Yeah, that spot that Burb was just farming in the zombie grind in what's the name of that town? Is it Algebra? Maybe? No.
Which is Veros, right?
Oh yeah, you're right, it's Veros. The zombie grind there is probably one of the most lucrative spots in vanilla, but it's not that great in Randomizer because all the townspeople are on the screen all the time, which does a couple of things. It lags the hell out of the screen, and they're so chatty, they want to talk with you all the time, and you're just like, man, I'm trying to farm zombies here, can we talk tomorrow morning? But they're just all about being in your way.
Alright, so we're coming up on Sacred Flame. Looks like Burb is trying to set up the drop by taking 2 hits. Because he knows this stuff. You take two damage boosts up top. That'll set up your sub-pixel for Sacred Flame. He gets himself a whip upgrade, finally. I did not.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I didn't see what he got in Barrows. Did you catch those?
I didn't catch that. I was watching Sath.
Or anybody in chat, what he might have gotten in the dagger room or chain whip room on the eyeballs inventory next time it comes up. But... oh, he skipped the book. I guess I'm thinking these two forgot about the clues.
Yeah.
There's a book right there once you that he could have gotten with the holy water.
That floor drop that you were talking about a minute ago for the Sacred Flame spot is, I don't know, that's one of the things I really appreciate about the randomizer is that it kind of forces you, like you were saying earlier, like you have any percent memorized, but you kind of have to learn, or you don't have to, but it definitely benefits you to learn some alternative setups for the randomizer. And the floor drop in particular, it's a pretty technical trick that took me a little while to really get what was happening, but essentially there's this sub-pixel value, which I think is just terminology for some unseen value that's like, you know, people are like, it's smaller than a pixel, but it's really just like this weird way that this weird value that the game stores in memory to track stuff for God knows what reason. So basically, when you just walk across the ground, or if you go up and down stairs, then you're kind of at your value it stays at a more even value. But when you start like jumping and whipping or getting knocked back by enemies, then it just kind of throws a big wrench in it and kind of makes it just whatever. So for all these floor drops, you need for your subpixel value, is it 0, 8, and 16? Is that right? Or is it just 0 and 8?
Yeah. And there's even exceptions to that rule. But real quickly, Seth picked up his golden knife and chain whip. So this is all Burb needs really to run the game. Oh, he got a nail now. Not terribly useful, given that he's already got the holy water. I'm wondering, is Seth? Yeah, Seth's going to double back now that he's got the golden knife, and he's going to go after death, and that is a very good decision, as we all know. Knowing holy water is waiting for him. And I wish I had Seth's mic for when he finds that out.
Yeah, that's right, Murdoch. The clip through the floor drop is you. So if you notice that these players, they'll do these little shimmies where they step up and down the stairs real fast, or they'll do these seemingly arbitrary jumps, like a jump up or like multiple head bops on the ceiling above them. That's to set their subpixel value to a value that makes it possible for them to drop through the floor. Ooh, Blue Crystal Vendor has a crystal. So I think Burb is loaded up with red crystal now, which is nice.
No, I think one of the crystals was in or no, maybe I'm wrong.
I think he's second. Yeah, where was it?
You'll have to double check next time he pops his inventory, because you're getting some pretty nasty artifacts on the screen. But... oh boy, Seth, I feel bad for him. With any luck, he won't spike his controller and.
You see Burb here trying to set up a floor drop, and this takes a lot of time, but also this floor drop saves a lot of time. So it's generally worth it to just kind of... there it is. It keeps you from walking all the way to the left of the screen, down this ridiculously long flight of stairs, and then back to the right.
Yeah, and it's definitely worth shopping at for a while.
You know, honestly, I cannot believe that Sath is going to go back to death.
Yeah,
it's really good that he is, but... That's a big detour.
Probably out of spite rather than strategy.
All right, we see Burbs. Yeah, Rover. Rover's a really fun mansion because there are some really funky tricks you can do in this mansion. On the next screen here, there's going to be this weird purple block that moves to the left and the right. And it's kind of like if you've ever seen any of like the summoning saw videos about world records, how if you can move Mario's X position off of the center of the screen, because you know how like the camera will track you on the center of the screen. If you can move your X position off the center of the screen to go into a warp pipe and it take you to the wrong warp pipe, the same thing is true in this game too, where if you let the purple block move you to an unexpected part of the screen, and then for some reason it just takes you actually to a completely different mansion, and then once you leave that mansion, it takes you to a better spot in this mansion right outside of the orb.
Yeah, and so essentially what's happening is the block is pushing you to an edge of the screen. And so the game has code where if you encounter the edge of the screen, it will transition you to the next screen. But this trick involves you facing the opposite direction. So the screen, even though you're on the right side of the screen, the game thinks you exited from the left side of the screen. And so that's what throws you then to, because you're facing left, and that's what then throws you to a screen it doesn't expect then, because it hasn't accounted for it in the game. Another one. Oh, boy. You're going to, I mean, Burb is going to be coasting now, and he is going to go for this wrong warp, it looks like.
So Sath started the death fight with only 35 hearts, and his health is already pretty low.
No double drop, though.
I think he missed the vendor, too, so he's going to have to... He can't just up an A. Oh, did he get the vendor?
Yeah, he picked up... Oh, I'm sorry, you're talking about Sath. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Oh, no, I was talking about Burb. You're right. I don't feel good about Sath's position here. Yeah, he took the death. He wasted a lot of hearts. If I were Sath, I would step out the left side of the room and just farm a ton of hearts from those knights, and then come back in and just unlock them.
Is he just going to fight him again? Oh, boy.
Did you see what the orb had on Burbs?
Oh, he's coming up now. And we couldn't see it on stream. So what did he get?
I don't know.
Oh, we'll have to check.
Does anybody in chat know what Burb got from the orb?
I don't think they saw it either. It's pretty dicey on the Twitch stream, unfortunately.
I think Burb forgot about up an A there for a minute. Or he was just showing off the wrong warp outside of to leave Rover.
There.
Let's see, so he's got red crystal now. I think we can just expect him to pick up the... If I were Burb, I'd probably pick up the oak stake, and I'd probably head to the graveyard duck, actually, unless he's already picked that, which I don't think he has.
No, I don't think.
And then I would probably try to wrong warp to Laruba from the graveyard deck if I get nice enemies. But he's setting up a floor drop on the right side of the screen here. Oh, he hasn't been to Berkeley yet. Whereas Sath has.
Which is going to be 2 quest items.
Yeah. I feel so bad for Sath. He's back at death.
The graveyard duck, indeed. Real long. I sure hope he makes an appearance.
Sath, if you're listening, I think you should go out into the hall and farm some hearts, buddy.
I'm telling you, it's just flat out stubbornness at this point. He's like, I'm doing this.
He's playing his own minigame.
Oh god. Oh god. No!
I can't wait for the Dracula fight. So the reason why the death fight is so hard is because you can't just quick kill death with a sub weapon.
Which is typically what the runners would do at this point.
Yeah,
but
he could have even picked up Sacred Flame to do it with, but
to be fair, the sub weapon in question is typically Holy.
Right.
You can do it with the dagger as well, though. As Sath and Burb were the ones to actually figure that out. So it was a combination of factors where those two, are insane runners of these low percent runs and have experience with dagger, and through figuring out how the holy water quick kill actually worked, I figured I could essentially work with any sub weapon that expires on the screen. So it has to be a weapon like holy water that can crash into a mobile block, or the dagger which just disappears after a certain distance. You couldn't do it really. You couldn't really do it with the silver knife or the golden knife.
Oh, because those go all the way to the end of the screen.
Right.
When I first started playing this game, I played glitchless %, and I would pick up the Sacred Flame because I was bad, and I really liked the utility of Sacred Flame, and it really made the death fight easier, until I realized that you can quick kill death with a Sacred Flame, and thus disqualify my run from glitchless
Yeah,
%.
yes. The Sacred Flame expires too if you catch the right. Yeah, you catch the right. Oh god, get out of there! Oh boy. Come on, Sath. I want this so bad for him. Oh. Oh boy. Yeah, he's gonna submit. Is he just leaving it?
No, Sath, buddy. Can somebody text him and say you have to kill death?
Oh no.
No, buddy, farm the hearts.
And just to be clear, it's not just to open up checks for those unfamiliar with CBD. Holy water is required to finish the game. Technically required. There are particular floor drop setups you can do with the nail, I believe, that can get you through Dracula's castle. But typically, holy water is required to get through Dracula's castle.
Can you can you break the blocks opening the bridge with the nail?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. So I think Sath could get there because I think he knows the floor drops. I think he knows the hexa drop setup.
But for all we know, though, eyeball could be hit. You know, a holy water block or something somewhere.
Yeah, you're right. I feel so bad for Sath right now.
Yeah. Oh, he missed this clip. What is he trying to do? Is he trying to go up top of the farm?
I'm not sure what he's doing. Maybe? Seems like a good plan.
Yeah, that's not really great at farming. I know, Scriven. We're wondering as well too. Like, why? I'm curious why he didn't just down in front of death.
Yeah, just kill the knights over and over again. I'm not sure what Sath is doing.
Yeah, it's rough.
Meanwhile, Bird's just going through Berkeley Mansion, which we've already seen has, is it the ring and the rib?
Yep.
The rib's a really nice item. It's got some good utility. It's basically a shield. It bounces fireballs back at the, they just bounce them away. The fireballs can't hit who they, who shot them, but it's a nice defensive weapon.
Bird appears to be playing on a blood-smeared screen half the time here. So.
Nice, keeping it in theme.
Yeah. And fun fact, Burb was the creator of the palette that's being used for this game as well, so he's not just a runner.
Oh yeah, he fixed a bug I found last week.
Yeah, he's been involved with creating a number of the patches and stuff like that too. So, and we have some particularly nasty ones that we're not showing here. We've got one hit kill. We've got invisible enemies. We've got paint it black mode, which is insane, and I can't believe these guys have played it and finished it. But it's where basically all the background is black. The only thing you can see is stairs and enemies. And
I think I jumped into Sath's stream one night and he was playing painted black invisible enemies one hit KO.
He finished it in, I think, like something like, oh god, how many hours was it? 4 or 5 hours.
Can't believe he finished it. I would not be able to finish that.
And he took over 700 deaths. But that is a testament to Sath's, just stubbornness when it comes to this game. He won't be beaten by it. So.
He's just stress testing the end of game stats.
Exactly, yeah. So yeah, there's a few things that if anybody was here and watched.
And he takes a game over. That's so brutal.
Boy.
I think Sath needs to farm the knights outside of Death's room, I think.
Yeah, I mean, that seemed an obvious choice to me, but I don't know. I didn't see how many hits they were either with the leather whip. I don't know if he was getting spiked too often.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it doesn't seem to be
That's true.
out here. Bird's going for another pickup here. Eyeball, he found it, and it is. You can do that with nail. But so what's he got now? He's got eyeball, rib, ring, heart, and he's got the nail. And does he have red crystal yet?
Yeah, I think he just needs a cross.
Yeah, just gotta find the cross now. Yeah, there was an example of a villager getting in the way of Golden Knight again while he was whipping down a zombie.
Burb has had a great run here. And is he skipping the graveyard duck, or is he already grabbed it? I don't think he grabbed it already.
It doesn't look
maybe
like
he wants to.
for it.
Yeah, I think he just wants to check Andal maybe first.
Well, he was in Andal earlier, but not with holy water, so maybe.
Right. And so luckily, the only other place he needs to go in Andal is the very first door right above the entrance here. But he's not going for it. I'm a little perplexed by Burb here. Unless he does have the cross and I just didn't see it. I need him to menu one time.
Yeah.
Yeah, what if he has all the items?
It could be. He might just be heading for tornado and game over. I gotta tell you, I when this seed started, I was Definitely not expecting like even sub-hour, but Verb has really come back from that rough start. Yeah, Freeland, we're just having that new palette, yeah. The Simon's Trippin' Balls palette. Here comes the tornado. Which one do we get? Angel of Death. I love it.
That's my favorite.
This is when a few sprites get mashed together because these sprite tables are all messed up with randomization. So you get like the wings of the harpies and parts of other enemies. Makes for what I like to call the Angel of Death tornado. That's exactly what we were saying. I wish we could hear. He probably feels so like upset that he's resorting to Golden Knight. I know. Please God, let him finish Mir.
Okay, Burb does not have the cross. What is Burb doing right now? Did
he may just be going. I mean, there's 4 checks.
He's gambling on Doina?
He's gambling on Doina.
No, he's not. I don't think he realizes he doesn't have the cross.
Oh my God, really? Wow. So the Twitch stream is a bit behind, but yeah, he just went past the Doina check. He must have the cross, right?
This is exactly what Sath needs, folks.
Are you
wasting massive amounts of time?
Yeah, we couldn't see. You're sure he doesn't have cross?
I am reasonably sure. He has silk bag. I saw the silk bag in there. I didn't see the cross though.
Oh boy.
Do you need the cross to break the blocks? Is that what the cross is for?
You do.
So I guess we'll see when he gets there. But I'm pretty sure he doesn't have the cross.
And the just as you can see here, Golden Knife is crazy OP when you've got 100% heart drops on. You could just fling them like crazy to clear out the screen ahead of you so you can move faster. You don't have to worry about your hearts essentially because you can pick them up on the way from whatever you kill.
I wonder why Sath is leaving Death Mansion this way instead of taking the clip.
Yeah, I didn't issue with it before.
Did he kill Death?
I don't know. I didn't even see. I was
watching Burb's screen.
We got all distracted by Burb making a run for the end.
Maybe next time we do commentary for one of these races, we can plan ahead of time to. I'll watch the left, you watch the right.
Yeah.
Oh, he's farming. Damn, man, I feel so bad for Seth. He has had a rough run. Meanwhile, Burb has had an incredible run, but I think he's made a big goof here, and he doesn't have the cross.
Yeah, either we find out 2 snacks wrong, or we see a very melancholy inventory check.
Yeah, it doesn't have the cross. What is he doing?
Oh man, this is all kinds of spicy.
Yeah, it's like, ooh, either I'm gonna be embarrassed or he's gonna be embarrassed.
We just saw it, yeah.
And you called it. It was the melancholy. He just kind of stood there and looked at it, just like he felt dejected. I could tell. He just kind of stared at the screen, like I cannot believe I just made this huge mistake.
Man, yeah. I mean, he was running for a possible 45 there, which is, I mean, I believe Burb has the, it's a little ridiculous in randomizers, but he's got the best randomizer time ever. It's a 43 something. And so he's got to be thinking, damn, this is one of my best runs ever. And now he's got to double back. And he's got to hope for a cross in Doina. Otherwise, he's got to make his way all the way back to Bodley and Aruba.
If there's a cross in Doina, I'm going to revolt. I want him to feel the pain for this mistake.
You know what? I want it to be in the graveyard, Doc. That's what I want right now. Yes, Murdoch. I wish we had that sound effect. I played over my mic right now. We need that Price is Right trombone or whatever it is.
Yeah, and I still feel so bad for Seth. He's still in the very first dungeon he went to. He did leave and come back, but...
And he is still working on gathering hearts. But yeah, like I said, I knew coming in just from the little saw that this was going to be interesting, and Sath is taking the brunt of it.
Okay, looks like Seth thinks he's ready for death. Death, round 8. Let's go.
8. I think that's being friendly. I think he's had a few more than that. Because I think he went 5 the first time before he gave up even.
I'm actually not familiar with the setup that he does here. Oh, that's the old school setup.
Yeah. And he gets the jump again, though. He's still got, I mean, that's the thing. He's still got the skills. It's just, man, he just can't seem to get to the end of this one. And he's not using the knife.
I'm guessing he doesn't want to use a knife until he has to.
I guess so.
I wonder how many hearts he has.
But it just takes one bop in that corner. He's got to get the timing good so he doesn't get thrown off here and catch a Skype to the face, which is going to let Death get even closer. Oh boy, he's closing in. And really, you see, personally, I would have done the knives at the to give myself more opportunity to not be this close.
Yeah, if he gets knocked out of the door here, he's gonna have to go up and farm again. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, or he takes a body hit, and that could be the end of him. He might. I think he can have one after a body hit. I think he's level 1.
I think that's right.
Just for reference, you start at level 0, so level 1 is actually. Yes, Sam! He did it! Woo! And he's got his holy water. Oh my god!
Get equipped with holy water. Let's go.
That was some like CV2 our constipation there that just cleared. That was really that was brutal. Oh, Burb takes a drink there. He's trying to use the nail, which you typically can never do here because you usually get the nail from the sword, but he was attempting to use a jump down and nail, which is slightly faster than the holy water to go across those blocks.
Some nice floor drops by Burb there.
He's going to go for the sexy drop here. No, he got the timing a little off, but he gets it anyway.
That floor drop's hard because usually you have as much time as you need to set up a floor drop, but you try to get on that platform that skeleton is patrolling on, and it's really punishing if you get hit because, like I said earlier, if you get hit, it knocks your value off of a kind of a round number, for lack of a better term, and can really just kind of ruin your floor drop. So it's you have a deadline.
He came all the way down for the silver knife, which means he's going to have to double back and go all the way through the mansion and check the merchant now.
Yeah, did he just not have the hearts to go to the merchant? I'm surprised he didn't go to the merchant first, or is he just gambling that?
I think he's gambling at this point. I think he's hoping every check now.
Like he's always taking the cheapest check for wherever he's at.
Yep. I think he's hoping not to have to go into Laruba. I mean, he's equipped to buzz through there now. I mean, he's got Morningstar and Gold Knife, so I mean, Camilla would be no problem. But he's still trying to maintain the shortest path. Oh, look at this, skipping the steps to go use this nail to get through. That was nice.
Looks like he's not going to check the vendor here in Bodley.
Oh boy,
that is. I don't know. Am I just too risk averse for these strats?
I don't know. I think he's just frustrated now, which is not something you typically get out of Burb. Burb is typically stone cold.
Frustration, no.
But hey, at least he got the swag exit.
It's the only way you can jump backwards in this game. In Castlevania 1, if you press back and jump on the same frame, Simon will jump before he turns around. But if you do the same thing in Castlevania 2, I believe Simon just does a vertical jump. You get no movement, which is rough. Burb loading up on laurels because he has a silk bag. And really nice clip. That was really fast for Burb.
Smitty, is there a way to send some of those chips and salsa through Twitch to my desktop here?
We need Star Trek replicators.
I'll see if I can get that into the next patch.
Okay, nice.
The rare stop at a church.
Okay, so now Burb knows not to go to Laruba's orb based on the clue he just got out of the book. So I really like the books because they, sometimes the item that you see is lame, but it kind of tells you where not to go. Like, don't waste time doing that.
Yep. Yeah, and that's why I was surprised. I mean, maybe they're just realizing I thought for a moment that they had a gentleman blues or something, but yeah, he skipped a few free ones when he had the holy water. So I almost want to go back to this seed after the game to see if they were relevant, you know. Particularly the two easy ones, the ones right after the Sacred Flame, and the one that's right next to the Oak Stake Vendor in Berkeley, because those are ones you don't really. I mean, it's only an extra second or so, you know, 2 or 3 to check them. And the one after Dabby's Cat, there's no reason not to check. I mean, it's literally the only expense is the cost of throwing a holy water and reading a book.
I'm a little surprised that Burb took the death there instead of using one of his 8 laurels to push him through the swamp. But maybe he's saving his laurels for the walk back to Dracula's mansion.
Probably. He's got to be hoping this is it here.
Hope it's the Graveyard Duck, like you said.
I know. Yeah, and typically you would see for damage boost in his way through here, but this is a rough enemy set for Laruba. There's so many mummies, you can't just damage boost over them. He's gonna have to do a lot of whipping.
And all of these enemies, for the most part, are graveyard enemies, so they're gonna hit really hard when they hit you. I guess not most of them, but we have 3 of them here. We have the flower, the mummy, and the harpy. Is that it? Are those the only graveyard enemies?
Medusa. Or, yeah, I think Medusa as well. And the ghost. And then Sat is coming up on, at about 52 minutes into his run, his first whip upgrade in the Sacred Flame spots. Oh my goodness.
You know, when I was a kid and I was playing this game, I really liked the bigger sprites from the graveyard enemies. I thought they looked really good, especially those ghosts.
Yeah.
Coming from Castlevania 1, the ghosts kind of look like frogs. And in this one, they kind of like, they have like a whole like a pirate torso almost.
I always thought it was like George Washington in a ghost form.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Got this kind of, you know, patriotic soldier kind of thing from like 17 something. Now I can't see what's going on in this merchant up here for Burr. Can you? There's a lot of crazy stuff going on. Well, we'll see if it flattens out in time for Oak Stake.
Look,
right?
it wasn't the cross.
Yeah, he grabbed it and he knows the dagger's in. Right?
Yeah, that's a good point.
You might want it. It is a faster drag kill. If you can get the...
There it is. There's the cross.
Sorry, that's right. You can't do that in this seed. Because the dagger is essentially useless in this seed because you can't quick kill it.
So Burb's just going to up and out of Laruba and is going to walk all the way back and take the crystal again.
Yeah, so roughly... Boy, I mean, he probably spent... It's been about 11 or 12 minutes since he realized... Or not since he realized, but since we all realized he was going the wrong way. It's been about 9 minutes since he realized it.
I think if he didn't make that goop, he probably would have gone to Graveyard Deck and tried to blob boost into Laruba. And if he had done that, he would have had a really nice time.
Yeah.
If he was able to boost out of the Graveyard Duck graveyard. I don't know. It just depends on what enemies are there. Especially with the Morning Star. It's much harder to blob boost with the Morning Star than it is with the Chain Whip, because of it hitting behind you. So basically, like, there's this glitch in the game where normally Simon can only jump 2 blocks high, but if you do a whip jump, I think it's just something about the way it does a tiebreaker. It just puts you on top instead of pushing you to the bottom. So you use the enemies to jump over this wall that folks aren't intended to jump over, and it wrong warps you all the way to Laruba's mansion. And usually there are pretty good... I mean, I feel like it's not hard to get a good enemy set in the graveyard to give you the blob boost capability, but the problem is with the Morning Star, it does a lot of damage and it hits behind you, so you need that stuff to bump you up from behind you to make that boost up. So I think it's like, what is it? Is it 4 or 5 blocks high? So you basically need to use a combination of getting an upward boost plus the whip jump extra height to make it over the wall.
Yeah, that's right. And in the randomizer, there's, you know, in the vanilla game, I should say, there's pretty, you know, the blob is the only way to do it. And blob is completely RNG, so it's really hard to, you really have to kind of practice and get used to the timing. But in in the randomizer, there's actually a number of enemies that can make it happen for you. Some harder than others, but the eyeball, the Medusa, werewolf is really the easiest one because it jumps at a completely predictable pattern and it gets you to a height that you need. We had a theory about mummy, but you tend to take too much damage, and it doesn't seem to get that extra half tile height that mummies have over other enemies doesn't seem to be enough to pull it off. But there also wasn't a great deal of time spent on that.
Yeah, I've only tried a couple times, and it's like you can only take 2 hits before you die, basically. So
theoretically, a gargoyle or a fireball should be able to do it too, since they fly at an angle. I don't think Sath got the warp here.
I don't think so either.
Nah. See, if
nice whip upgrade though.
That's the full any percent trick here with the purple block is that you are able to get to the edge of the screen on his. Oh boy, he takes a bad.
You're just like 1 or 2 pixels too far to the left.
Yeah, if you can do it the full any percent trick, you can actually get to the edge of the screen, basically walk blindly over to the merchant, get your oak stake, and then just press left to get the wrong work. You have to stand on the right pixel for the purple block. I think there's 2 pixels you can stand on there. One of which I think has a 3-frame window. I think the other one has a 2-frame window.
Yeah, I think it's 3 pixels, and for every one that you're off the optimal one, you lose a frame.
Okay, yeah. So, all right, looks like that was like the crystal percent.
Why isn't Burb using any of his, or is he saving laurels for Dracula? Oh no, he's using it now. I wonder if he thought about saving the laurels for Dracula, because that might be really good with the flags we're playing with today. Again, just a quick reminder: when Burb gets to Dracula, he's gonna have his weapon downgraded to the not the weakest whip, but the second weakest whip, and he's gonna lose a ton of hit points and damage mitigation because it's gonna de-level him. I'm looking over Sath's screen right now. He's trying to 4-drop out of Rover here, but he should just up an A. Oh, unless he's going to Algebra, maybe.
Yeah, he may be. I don't know. Has Sath acquired any garbage yet?
No, I don't think so. I don't think he's been to the Red Crystal Vendor yet. I don't think he's been that far left at all. See, oh no, he has. He has a golden knife. I forgot about that. All right, so right now Burb is getting ready to break the walls to go into Dracula's castle. And this is the spot he got to earlier, and he realized he didn't have the magic cross. You need the magic cross to get in here. And I'm looking over as I'm watching him walk across the bridge. I see Sath hit this really trolly bat and get knocked into the water here. Poor Sath can't catch a break.
For those who don't know, Sath has his own Simon's hand giving a thumbs up while drowning. He's notorious for missing those jumps sometimes, despite his insanely high level skill in every trick in this game. Oh, that eyeball. That's going to be mean. He may even have to leave the heart behind. Yeah. So if you kill the enemy and leave the heart behind, it won't respawn. So he didn't have to do any special tricks to try to get the tight frame window of hitting the eyeball as soon as it gets on Simon's head. Let's see. I'm not. Burb's screen's a little messy here, but he's going for. He only got a single.
Yeah, he's setting up for the quad drop. You can actually do 4 floor drops there in a row. We actually haven't seen very many or any multiple floor drops in this race, which is super surprising because both of these runners are really good. But there's a lot of places where you can get a double floor drop, and in that spot you can get a quad drop. Actually, in the FBS version, you can do a hexa drop, which is hilarious. It's hilarious to me that the subpixel value is different in FBS than it is in NES.
I know.
All right, so let's watch Burb's screen here right now. He's on Dracula, and again, he's completely nerfed. He's lost a lot of hit points, a lot of damage mitigation, and he's got the second weakest whip in the game.
Oh, he does have a gold knife.
That's true.
He gets in trouble. He's going to sit here. He's going to jump to get as much damage as he can and retreat to the corner. Or he's going to pop laurels and just keep going ape on him. I'm not sure.
He's doing really well.
tight in the corner here. From what we've seen, he hasn't taken any damage. So
Drax's bod hurts so bad.
Yeah. He's muscling through though here. I mean, it doesn't. He's hitting him from every angle here that the skies are coming at him. This is really going well for him so far. Yeah, just
can't take another hit. Oh, and that's it. He got it. 1 hour, 0 minutes, and 24 seconds for Burb.
Okay, so I was technically right. He didn't get the sub hour, but he should have.
He should have. Yeah. Really impressive Dracula fight there by Burb. That was really nicely done. Really nicely done.
Oh, absolutely. Just a heads up. 2 seconds. I'm gonna have to drop off very soon here.
Okay.
So you might be flying solo for any post game, but just for everyone here, this is a blast. I love working on this project. I love all the runners contributing and just helping me make it what it is. Because honestly, Burb and Sath were the very first 2 to play this game. I've also changed the ending text a bit, Burb and Sath were the very first ones to play this game. Actually, they pulled it. I was just prototyping it in a public repository, and the 2 of them grabbed it and just started playing it without. When I said, "Yeah, it's not really ready for prime time," and they wouldn't accept that, and because of them basically pushing forward, that's why we're here today, and runners like them, and Tusnek as well, and Freeland who's in the chat, and a couple other guys, Spriven. These guys have all been helping push it forward, so it's just been a blast.
Hey, do you want to tell these potential Castlevania 2 randomizers how to get hooked up into playing it?
Yeah, I mean, the best way to do it is just to come find us on the Discord. I'm not sure what the appropriate way to post that link is, if we're allowed to do that in chat, and if not, we're not that hard to find. So I mean, any one of these guys. Oh yeah, and the other additional thing here is we get our stats. So he died 31 times, killed almost 400 enemies, and collected 1,500 hearts. That's a lot of shopping.
That's a lot of shopping. So posh. Burb was so posh all game, man. He had like a stacked inventory.
Yeah, I mean, it was rough at the beginning. I really thought when we were about 15 minutes in and they had said nothing yet, I was like, oh my God, this is going to go forever. And it may yet for Sath, but like I said, he's nothing if not persistent. I'm sure he's cursing, but there's probably nothing in his mind that's leading him to think I'm going to forfeit, even if we tell him that Sath is done. And yeah, and Big Mike's letting us know. He says if Sath wants to finish this thing out, he is absolutely more than welcome to run it. So, and we'll be here for him. Everybody in the chat, let's get some like cheers or whatever the hell out there for Sath right now. Let's push him to the end.
Let's see. Sath has so Sath's just missing the red crystal and the magic cross, and then he can have the Dracula himself. So, although he's behind and he's been playing from behind this entire time, he's really not that far from ending the game. He has all of the body parts. He's got the holy water. He just needs a red crystal and the magic cross, and then he can go to Dracula.
Yeah, 2 seconds. I'm gonna have to hop off here, and maybe Burb can hop on the final comment.
Cool, man. Hey, thanks for hanging out, and as always, I've enjoyed chatting with you, and hope to do it again in the future.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone, for coming out to this event too. It's so much fun. I love the RGL crew and the stuff they put together, and we're just having a blast doing it, and can't wait to do the next one. So I'll see you guys all later, and wish my daughter right now. So later all.
See you. All right, so we just have Sath here. He's doing a farm. He's doing a big farm. This is Stardew Valley Simulator, aka Castlevania 2 Randomizer. So he just needs. I actually missed what item was in there, but he deemed it important enough to go back and check it out. So let's switch that up over there. Picking up the oak stake, interesting. Let's see. So I forgot where the red crystal vendor was, or the last crystal vendor, but the cross is in the Laurels vendor from Laruba Mansion. So I'm not really sure what I expect Seth to do next. Let's take a look. Actually, he's going to leave to the right, which is a little interesting. This is a tough town to get out of because you have to go all the way to the top of the town to get to that vendor. And you can go to the left and try to floor drop, but that floor drop setup is... I'm not consistent with it, and it's really punishing if you miss it. But Seth's not messing with that. He's just heading back over there. Also, you see this weird bug where the red crystal vendor despawned when the day-night transition happened. I think that's just kind of an artifact of how the code needs to run to kill all the zombies on the screen. Which, of course, the vanilla game didn't have to worry about that because if you've played Castlevania 2 before, you know how frustrating it is that all the shops are closed and all the townspeople are inside during the nighttime. That's one of the biggest. That's one of the toughest parts about Castlevania 2. 80% is that, or just speedrunning it in general, is that you have to farm enough money to buy the critical item that you need from a vendor, and you need to get to the vendor before it turns nighttime. So a lot of the game is routed around those day-night cycles so that you can hit the vendors at the best time. Let's check this vendor. This vendor had the red crystal, right? I forgot. I guess we'll see. I actually have a spreadsheet open, but I totally failed at keeping it updated. Diamond, gross. Diamond dance game. We don't like diamond. Diamond is probably the worst item in the game. Maybe. There may be something worse. I guess you could argue silver knife is worse, but I actually think silver knife has some utility, whereas the diamond is just trash. Okay, nice floor drop by Seth there. And so this will be the garlic vendor. And that's going to open up. He's got to buy that. He's not buying it. Interesting. Huh. Okay, he's opting not to take the garlic. Interesting. Okay. I forgot where the red crystal was, so if the red crystal's not in the garlic vendor, then that's going to be fine. So the little jumping, those random jumps there, he's going to set up this floor drop. And he's still looking for the red crystal, I think. So I don't know why he's going left here either. There's nothing over here except for the cliff to do the tornado warp. Oh, he does have red crystal. I think he just didn't update his tracker. Okay, so that's good. So the only thing he needs now is the cross, which is in Laruba. So if he heads left here, then he's going to be coming close to the end of the game. That's why he didn't buy the garlic, because his plan was to just exit left and, not double back to either of the garlic vendors, which I think is completely legit. Okay, so he's gonna gamble here. He's gonna gamble on Doina, which is Doina's an interesting gamble because Doina and Laruba are on the opposite sides of the world. Doina has one shot at an item. Laruba has 4, but Doina is on the way to Dracula's mansion. So there's definitely some judgment in the types of paths that you take in this game, and I think that's one of the things that makes randomizers so fun. I love playing randomizers. I've played Final Fantasy randomizer. I've played Legend of Zelda randomizer, and of course Castlevania 2 randomizer, and I have fun with all of them. But of course, Castlevania 2 randomizer, I've got a soft spot for it because it's a great game to speedrun. Okay, I actually forgot what was in Doina. Laurels. Okay, so he's gonna have to go all the way left here. Hopefully he doesn't stop in Bodley, because that's gonna be some more time that he's gonna waste. He needs to get to Laruba. I agree too, DVD. That's part of the fun is I don't know. Is it sadistic to have fun with people, just kind of like, I don't know, struggling through something that you know the answer to? Especially where there's pretty massive, like there can be some pretty massive variation in. Okay, nice. Sath is not going to Bodley. He's going to Oh yeah, and that's the trap. When you only need one item, just like Burb, you tend to go for the cheapest place first. So is he gonna? Okay, so unlike Burb, he's gonna go to the oak stick vendor. So every dungeon has at least an oak stick vendor and at least an orb. So there's 2 spots in every dungeon that you can break for an item, and the reason why Burb just went straight for the orb because it's much closer than the vendor is, but after you touch the vendor, you can go to the orb very quickly. So it's kind of like do the jump. Okay, there we go. There's an invisible floor there. I was afraid he was going to forget about it because it can get a little frustrating. Let's see. Okay, so he's going to set up this floor drop right here. I'm really fond of this floor drop. He's got to kill that first, I think. There it is. Nice. Okay, now it's not on the screen. That's a weird thing. If the heart that the monster drops is on the screen, the monster won't respawn. There we go. So this is a little shortcut to the oak stick vendor. It doesn't save a ton of time, but it saves an okay amount. And you can see, like, that definitely wasn't intended. He had to jump through the wall to get back into the level here. Oh, okay, cool. Burb said that he went to the orb because he got a clue that the vendor had crap. So that's that's completely valid. Thank you for the update, Burb. I want Burb to get into the channel with me so I can give him some grief about that about that magic cross that he forgot about. Oh, Garlic, he hates to see that. Yeah, up next, guys, we have the Castlevania 1 3rd annual RGLtv one night only tournament. So get hyped for that. I'm certainly looking forward to it. I've played in all 3 of them, and they've both been a lot of fun. Silver Knife, that item is trash. So, yeah, he's just going to leave this dungeon now and then head over to... Oh, takes the hit on the stairs. That's unfortunate. I think he should golden knife that spider. Or just take it very slowly, which he's doing. Oh, no! This has not been Sath's run. He's had difficulties, which is unusual for him. He's one of the more experienced Castlevania 2 randomizer players, and he typically has a plan for everything. But I think just this has been like the perfect storm of bad news. Yeah, there it is. There's the golden knife. This is so painful. It's not as painful as watching him fight death with the leather whip, but oh no. Is he out of hearts? At least it's dead. At least it's dead. Man, that was rough. Oh my god, and then he dies at the top of the stairs, so he's got to deal with all that crap again. Much better. Much better this time. All right, so I think the rest of his path throughout the rest of the game is going to be pretty without any variation. So he's just going to exit here, go left. He's going to talk to the vendor that normally has the flame whip, and he's going to load up on laurels from that vendor, and then he's going to head to Laruba. He's probably going to check the oak stake vendor first because it's the first thing you can hit, and then he's going to check the laurels vendor, and the laurels vendor is going to have the cross, and he's going to immediately head to Dracula's mansion. I was actually a little surprised to see Burb. I was surprised to see Burb up an A out of Laruba. I didn't know that was faster, but I'm curious to see if Sath will do that tech as well. There's actually a clip here, so you want to be careful to only break the 2 blocks in the middle. That one that's over his head, you don't want to break that one because you can clip using the moving platforms to head up. Okay, I think, yeah, he should load up here. There it is, nice. He needs to get, there it is, okay. I don't know the method here, I just spam jump and it eventually works. Maybe Burb's execution of that clip was really hot, so there's probably a best way to do it. Oh, this Medusa head. Medusa heads are a real pain in the butt. You know, they just follow you constantly, and they're so fast. But the good thing about the Medusa heads is they don't do a lot of damage, so sometimes you can use them to push through enemies that would normally do a lot of damage, like a mummy that you can't jump over, for example. There it is, nice. If the 2 strats are the same time-wise, I'd probably just up an A so I can save laurels from this cross here. I mean, this swamp. There he is. So he's just going to laurels across the rest of the swamp here. Should save some time. Ooh, 6 hits. That's a lot. So this is Laruba's mansion is intended to be the hardest mansion in the game. It's got the toughest enemies. I actually think the design of Laruba's mansion is really nice, and it's got 4 spots. It's got 4 vendors. It's got the oak stake vendor, and it's got another vendor that you saw Burb get the magic cross from. In the normal game, you walk up to the vendor and he says to you, "I beg of you, take these laurels." So I actually quite like that part because it kind of makes it feel like, oh man, you're like in a really dangerous spot here. Please make some soup with these or something. I don't know, but and then you go across this pit of spikes, and then Carmilla, which is like if you've seen the Castlevania anime, I believe Carmilla is one of the characters in that, and is in a lot of other Castlevania games as well. But is the classic bloody tears dropping. Oh, that was a really nice boost forward by Sath there, so he could skip killing that flower. Yeah, he had to jump over that mummy, but I actually got my hopes up that he was just going to run down. So he's going to go up to this. He's going to go up to this vendor, and was it an oak stake? I believe it was. So those fireballs that are bouncing off of him is because Sath is using the Dracula's rib, that shield that you can see when he jumps. That's Dracula's rib, and it deflects fireballs for some reason. Okay, that mummy. So you saw him go up and down the stairs there. That was a set of a subpixel, but that Medusa bopped him, so that messed that up. Okay, now he's got the magic cross. And I think that's all he needs. Oh, Carmilla is another vampire novel pre-Bram Stoker. Oh, Stoker. That's cool. Yeah, Jax, we have faster dialogue. The day-night transition is much slower. Basically, Blood, Sweat, and Code did the best he could to increase the quality of life of some of Castlevania 2's more quirky aspects. Though, if I can defend Castlevania 2 for just a moment, as you probably know, Castlevania 2 is pretty famous from the Angry Nintendo Nerd pilot episode, and that's one of the things he complains about is the day-night transition being so frustratingly long. But if you've tried to play this game as a speed run, yeah, and added a duck. If you play this game as a speed run, you'll notice that this game doesn't have the typical stuff that other speed games have, and that's like clear levels. You know, usually you beat a level and then it counts down the score, whatever, right? In this game, there's nothing like that. You're going all the time. You just move and move and move and move and. So even to like get a drink of water is pretty hard. And you know, it's about a 30-minute speed run, so it can be hard to stay focused for that long and not do anything like read chat or get a drink of water or whatever, right? So when you're speedrunning Castlevania 2, the day-night transitions are definitely a welcome break in between, you know, just the constant battling you're doing otherwise. Yeah, but that's his brand. I think he got rich by being a crybaby, quote unquote rich. I don't know. Yeah, that's right, Burb. We don't have the quick kills on with these flags, so Sath's gonna have to kill Dracula. Thorn Whip, no quick kill, which should be exciting. The most obtuse thing about Castlevania 2 is the kneeling with the crystals to unlock secret areas. I think without that one aspect, this game would have had a much better reputation. But you know, they got to sell Nintendo powers. Am I right? And speaking of those obtuse areas, Sath is heading to the Red Crystal spot again. He up and A'd back to the town, and he's just going to head over to the... I'm not sure what Sath is doing right now. Where are you headed, buddy? If he goes to the Morningstar vendor, the Morningstar vendor has... the Morningstar vendor has... Oh, he doesn't have all the body parts. I thought he did because of his tracker that I'm seeing on his stream right now. He's still missing one of the body parts. I didn't see which one it was. It's not the heart, it's not the rib. It might be the nail. It's either the nail or the eyeball. He's either missing the nail or the eyeball. And I don't recall where that was. Yeah, his tracker has all body parts, but he does not have all body parts. I saw his menu when he opened it up. So I think which explains his behavior. I was confused what he was doing, but he picked up the garlic and he's going to the graveyard duck now, which is great because we can actually see the graveyard duck. God Vic Sage, there's a game called Castlevania 2 Redacted that is supposed to be a more friendly version of this game for casual players. And I've heard great things about it. I haven't played it myself though. Burb says he also he didn't click on the cross. I hope he realized he got the cross. Are you feeling some, I don't know, is that type of sympathy for you a little more personal, Burb? Laurels, that's not what you want to see there. He's probably going to up an A here and go to Algebra and pick up the graveyard vendor there. Oh yeah, I got you, God. The most sadistic thing about CV2, the dog developer and others that are listening, is some of the clues that the game gives you are just wrong. It's misinformation. So it's like they already made it incredibly cryptic, but they just doubled down on that by adding some clues in there that were designed or translated poorly in such a way that would actually drive you away from the correct thing to do. Yeah, the clue in the game that's kneeling, I think, is a townsperson in either Ondal or I forgot the name of the other place, or Alba. I think it's Ondal though. It's like I forgot what it says. Like hit your head against Deborah Cliff. Or something like that. But that's only half of it. You're supposed to hold the red crystal too. Oh, that's cool, Jax. Forced boss fights, yeah. There's only 3 boss fights in this game. There's Death, Carmilla, and Dracula. That part didn't really bother me too much, but I get the feedback. I follow it. I don't know, Burb. I think it says something about hitting your head on the cliff. But, I'm not positive. Oh, I see, Burb. So basically you need two clues to figure out what to do. Yeah, I think that's right, Kel. I work for a software company and we have international customers, so translation is actually kind of a struggle in a lot of ways because you have context about what you're translating, and you also have context about the culture that you're translating for that can sometimes make it very hard to express an idea in such a way to where your international users can understand it to the extent that your English-speaking users can understand it. So translation is a very challenging part of software development. The Graveyard Duck is not a mistranslation anymore. There's a really nice video by the game historian talking about Final Fantasy Mystic Quest, and one of the major themes in that video is kind of like was that Square taking internationalization or localization more seriously, and it was because of a translator, I think an American translator that joined the Final Fantasy team to translate Final Fantasy Mystic Quest, and he was like, yeah, before me, people were just like Kel was saying earlier, just translating, oh, there's a nail, and I think that's it. I think that's all he needs. Yeah, so he's loaded up and he's ready to go here. So he's deciding whether or not he wants to up an A or if he wants to do a skip over the graveyard here. I think I would up an A. Looks like he might try to do the skip, though, which is going to be fun. Anyway, I would check out that video if you're interested in you know, these weird wonky translations or whatever. I would check out that video by Gaming Historian. It's pretty good. He should just die here. Okay, he's not going to do that. Yeah, exactly. You don't want to translate it word for word. A lot of times that doesn't make sense. Sometimes Thea Gotch will message me things in Portuguese, and when I run it through Google Translate, I'm like, what the hell does this mean? So he's just eating all those laurels that he got earlier in the. I'm curious to see if Sath will stop at the Flame Whip vendor and load back up on laurels here. I think that's what I would do. Is I would laurel. Well, he's got Flame Whip, so that's pretty good. But oh, I didn't know that, Dog Developer. That's cool. Portuguese hype. Jackson 5 asks, which do you guys think is the best of the trilogy? I'm curious to see what people say too. I like them all for different reasons. Okay, he's not turning around for more laurels. Three is a really nice game. 3 is really good. But I do have a soft spot in my heart for originals, though. You know, like, I think a debate I often find myself in is, you know, folks are like, oh, well, 3 is a strictly better game than the first or something like that. But it's, I don't know. I like to think about the context of the era, you know. I think 3 came out like 3 or 4 or 5 years after the first one did. And that development team probably learned a lot from the first game. Also, the 3 is a lot glitchier than Castlevania 1 is. But it's a lot more like, there's a lot more game in Castlevania 3. I never played Symphony of the Night until recently, but I'm glad I did. I borrowed my buddy's PlayStation 4 and bought the I forgot what it was called, but the pack that had Symphony of the Night and he's taking a swim there. Yeah, the Symphony of the Night and Rondo of Blood games. I thought both those games were fun. I didn't beat Rondo of Blood with Richter though. I only beat Rondo of Blood with, who was a lot of fun to play with. Yeah, Sath is sick of wasting time on the screen, so he's just gonna laurels through it now. I like watching randomizer races because so much of it comes down to the path that you choose, and in a way, it's kind of luck, right? I mean, there's skill and there's definitely a lot of skill involved. Skill in not just your execution, but also like how you evaluate your decision points and the calls you make from those. But in a normal game, folks that are racing typically are doing the exact same thing. So it kind of boils down to who executed better. But with something like a randomizer, and especially Castlevania 2 randomizer, there's so much different stuff you can do from one another that, you know, it's, I don't know, I really enjoy seeing the different paths. Okay, Seth getting ready for the Dracula fight here. So when Sath gets into the castle here, you know, there's that joke that Castlevania 2's last dungeon isn't finished because there aren't any enemies. When you're doing a speedrun in this game, it's still pretty challenging because there are floor drops to set up, and you can save a lot of time with great floor drop execution. And actually, the toughest floor drop in the game is coming up here, and it's a quad floor drop. I would invite folks that know more, like Burb and Freeland in chat, to correct me. But I think that the quad drop is 2 frame perfect inputs and then two frame inputs. Not necessarily in that order. So let's see if Sath can pull it off here. Just a single. So I don't think we've seen a double plus floor drop from either of our racers today, which is really surprising. Oh, okay. Sat's gonna go for a backup double here, or triple, I think. I think he's just having a little fun with it. At least we got a. Did we get a double there? Yeah, we did get a double, I think. So we did see a double. I think Sat's listening. He's like, "I'll show you a double, you MFer." I'm just kidding. Sat doesn't really talk like that. He's really sweet. Okay, nice floor drop. So again, he's just going to roll up into Dracula's room here, and yeah, he's going to lose his flame whip, and he's going to lose his level. So he's got a tough fight ahead of him here. I was really impressed by Burb's handling of this fight. I think it was really well done. Really nice whip rhythm from Sath here, and he's doing a good job keeping those sights in check. It's weird because Dracula in this game feels a little more like Death to me than he does Dracula, but it's whatever. I like the boss fight. He's real... Ooh, Sath takes a death, so sounds like we get another opportunity at a quad drop. Thorn Whip is longer, and it does more damage than the lead. Just not that much more. 6 head bops. And you notice that he actually lost his items. So he's not he doesn't have Flame Whip anymore. Again, a single. He's gonna go for the backup here. Nice, really nice triple there by Sath. Trying to set up his subpixel here, but I think he keeps making small errors. There it is, nice. Yeah, he could use the golden knife. The golden knife would be fine. And he should also have I think it resets your hearts to 50 when you die to Dracula. Maybe it's just a game over, I'm not positive. But he should have enough hearts for 25 throws. Yeah, there it is, 50 hearts. It looks like he's got the laurels packed here, so I think he plans on doing the exact same thing. But if Drac throws sights from the top there and puts him in a spot where he can't move, you'll probably pop the laurels. Oh, he takes a body hit. That's really bad. I think he should laurels there, but he didn't. Okay. Oh, hits the single again. Oh, he's not going to go for the triple again. I like that. I like that setup. It's one of the newer ones that I've seen. I think I'd only seen it once before this this race, and I think it was from Sath. Maybe he showed me at FGDQ. So this is rough because he's trying. There it is. He's trying to jump off, but he only has a couple of pixels to do it from. All right, and just another reminder that after Sath finishes up this Castlevania 2 randomizer race, we have the 3rd annual Castlevania 1 One Night Only tournament coming up, and I believe the first match is going to be from our very own Afada Cthulhu and Implosion Retro Gaming, which I'm really hyped to watch. That should be a great race. Okay, here we go. Stay alive, Sath. He should still have the laurels equipped. Nice delay on that whip there to kill that scythe coming down from the angle. I don't want to give him the commentator's curse or anything, but I'm feeling pretty good about this fight. I think he's going to get it here. Nice duck. He should laurels there. Yeah, he should laurels here. No, he still has the laurels, right? I will bear this burden. That's fine. I'm the worst. Oh, he did pop one on Drake earlier. Okay, so yeah, I don't think he has another laurels. But he has the golden knife. Oof. 0 on laurels. Sath's middle name is Perseverance. I actually like if you don't whip jump there and you just hop down here, I think you're good. You're set up for a floor drop. You don't have to do any of this setup. It's usually my go-to here. So again, he's trying to step up the stairs and then do a jump off. He's getting sick of it, so he's just gonna take the stairs. All right, let's see what we got. Oh, and he takes a body hit. That's brutal. Nice duck on that scythe. Big volley coming in. I think he should switch to golden knife. Poor Sath. Nice floor drop there by Sath. Good setup. Oh, and he misses it. There it is. Nice. Nice whip rhythm here. Okay, no body hits so far. There he is, nice. Hopefully this golden knife will carry us here. Let's see. Oh no! What happens? Oh, the game is over. Wow. Okay, I didn't know what would happen there. I've never seen that before. Double KO. Wow, what a way to end this. Holy moly. That was crazy. Nice. Well done, Sath, for finishing up that race. That was a tough seed for the route that he took. I think the route he took was great. That's actually what I would have done too. Not that I'm not as good at routing as Burb and Sath are, but the one that Sath took is probably the one I would have taken. And you know, he did his best, but it was just really, really, really tough. I think the way that the items were set up just made it really hard for Sath to be successful with the Death Mansion first routing. So that was that was a spicy finish to this Castlevania 2 randomizer race between Sathdresh with 1 hour, 47 minutes and 25 seconds and Burb 1 hour and 24 seconds. So yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, I'm excited to see his stats too. I think Burb had 30-something deaths, 31 deaths. They're still on the screen. So Burb had 31 deaths. Let's see how many Sath had. I'm guessing Sath had... Okay, press 1 if you think Sath had more than 100 deaths. Press 2 if you think Sath had fewer than 100 deaths. 1 for more than 100, 2 for less than 100. A lot of ones. 72. Wow, that's much fewer than I thought. Which I feel a little bad about now. Nice, a lot of kills. 150 more kills than Burb did, and a couple hundred more hearts. So that was good. Nice. Well, yeah. Thank you to Burb and thank you to Sathdresh for jumping in here and playing Castlevania 2 Randomizer. Again, hit us up. This is a pretty small community, but we're growing every day. And like I said at the beginning, we're looking to roll out the 1.0 version of Castlevania 2 Randomizer, which is super accessible. There's a website and everything you can download it from. All you need is a Castlevania 2 ROM, and you can start playing. So hit us up. We're happy to help with however we can. If you're interested in getting involved with doing testing or development, also hit us up. We're looking for folks to help out in that capacity as well. And shout outs again to our runners. Shout outs to Blood, Sweat, and Code, my co-commentator. And then, of course, a big shout out to Retro Gaming Live TV for hosting us. This was our first big event. We had a race at Castlevania 4 Cause 2, which was also a lot of fun, but this has been our first big event for Castlevania 2 Randomizer, so we really appreciate the faith you had in us for letting us play this on such a big stage. And stay tuned. We have the third annual Castlevania 1 one-night only tournament coming up in just a few minutes. So get hyped for that. Our first race, I believe, is between Afada Cthulhu and Implosion Retro Gaming. So that should be a spicy race, and I'm super hyped to watch that as I get my stream set up for my race later on. So again, thanks, and I am ready to call it here anytime you would like me to.
Hey, T-Snack, how are you doing?
Oh, Sat's in the channel, and so is Burb. Nice. Do you guys have a nice, cool? I didn't know if Burb was going to jump in. Sat. Oh my God, that death fight. What was going through your brain?
Which one, the death fight or Dracula?
We can get to Dracula in a minute, but death is really where the meat of your run seemed to stay.
Yeah. I mean, I think I should have just stayed there when I was there the first time, and I had a feeling that something was there. I just knew that something was there, having that other crystal over there and everything. I was like, all right, something's got to be here. So. Did you was there a verbal expletive after he dropped the holy water? Oh yeah, I was kind of pissed. I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Yeah, I know.
At least it wasn't garlic.
Well, I don't know. Garlic still needed to be used to get nail, and that was another thing too. I thought I already had nail because I marked it on the tracker and I wasn't looking at my menu.
So did I.
When I was on there, so I just kept, and I was like, I thought I already have nail. Like where? And so I thought I had everything, and I started walking back, and then I'm like, no, oh shit, I don't have nail.
Burb, really impressive run on your part. You and Sath did pretty different routes. Sath stayed in Jova and farmed the Heart to go to Heart Mansion first. Meanwhile, you pushed left to check out the Morningstar vendor and the Red Crystal vendor. Really great run. You had a really posh item set up. What was going through your brain when you got to Dracula's Bridge and you realized that you didn't have the magic cross?
I realized that I had made a mistake. I just totally forgot that the cross was a thing. I just paused at some point when I got the last item and just looked at the row. Oh, it's all filled. I have the red crystal. Let's go. And yeah.
Oh,
nice. And also, Burb, I was really impressed by your Dracula kill. Had you been practicing it with the flags before this race?
No. I just know that I can do the chain whip kill, which is 60 whips with really good success rate. So I just do the same thing in the beginning, except that I whip him maybe 10 times less just to be safe to not get hit. So after 50 whips, I just jump to the corner.
Yeah, it's probably good. I was going for all 60 and was getting right around 55 and started throwing. I'm like, oh, I missed one or two. I was off.
Yeah, those body hits were so bad.
Yeah, those body hits were really bad, and especially because the ones that were coming down from the top left were fine. It was he would just throw a random one that was straight down, and that's what kept killing me. It wasn't those ones that were coming to the from the right hand side down to the left. It was that top one.
Yeah, I can get to that perfect angle where you just can't avoid it at all.
Yeah, you're just screwed. That's why I was like, yeah, we're just gonna go with, because I really wanted to do that low percent kill and just kill it with kill Drac with the whip, but it wasn't panning out. So I was like, all right, well, we're just. I knew I had the 50 hearts for the dagger the whole time, but I just wanted to get that kill, but it didn't happen. It's all right. We'll get it.
It was a very exciting ending when you both died.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I should have did a headphone warning because I'm pretty sure I was screaming when that happened.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Nice. Do you guys have any last words you want to get in there? Before we sign off and cut over to the Castlevania 1 tournament.
Thank you all for having us. Thank you for letting us showcase the CV2 Rando. The tracker that I used was actually provided by KDove because he made a pretty good item tracker. So I used that, and that will be available as well as the map tracker when it goes public. So yeah,
Yeah, thanks
I-
for
you
having
all.
us. It was a lot of fun, and I do apologize for being from Europe.
And I apologize for just dying over and over again.
It was a lot of fun to watch, and I really appreciated the triple floor drop with the backup after the missed quad. Those are pretty.
Yeah. They are. They're really nice to kind of show off. They're not practical on a run, but it's pretty nice to show off and when you can.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for racing this. This was a lot of fun to watch, and yeah. And if anybody in the channel is interested in trying Castlevania 2 Randomizer out, hit any of us up. I think we're all pretty hyped to talk with anybody about it. So yeah, let us know. All right, cool. I'm gonna sign off here and get my stream ready. Thanks, everyone.
All right. Yeah, you too. Good luck, everyone, on the CV1 race.